You know what? I'm sitting here watching this news, and they're so backbiting over there. Say the guy over there at the Pentagon. You know, the Pentagon's opened up and said, we know we could do better, and we'll do better in the future. Well, that's just goddamn great. But I'll tell you what, if somebody don't show up at my bowling alley, then I'm going to say right there, the Pentagon is their bowling alley over there, the Pentagon's bowling alley. Now, if somebody don't show up there, I'm sure that they have somebody just step right into that guy's place. Hey, he's sick today. And you know what? What they're doing, the media's doing, is just going right down saying, well, you know, this, that. Hey, man, you can't get away with what Donald Trump's doing. That guy don't even look into the camera straight. He fucking just wanders all over the place. He isn't being direct. And he isn't being like this. He's a conflict of interest. It taking up all the lanes of traffic as it's coming towards somebody. It's a goddamn conflict of interest. And bam, I'm just going to fucking say it. I see all these people. I think the guy's name's Lloyd. You know, over there, I watched him the other night. There's nothing wrong with that black man. These people are taking a shot at black people. They're trying to create a race war. And we need to not look at it. They're playing a goddamn game. You know, they want to fucking get you to think that there's something on that's going that isn't. But they're creating the atmosphere for that to happen. And you know what? All they see is goddamn money and greed. And that's what's fueling it. And also anti-Semitism. You know, they're just bullies. And the first time, you know what? They need to sit down and they should probably take narcissism help. You know, it's right there on YouTube. There's a bunch of women that are really fucking good. I mean, I just didn't mind watching it because I just don't deny it. You see, but people that will deny it, they won't want to fucking watch it. They'll say, well, I've seen that kind of stuff. No, they've been forced to take that crap that the state requires them to do. And the only reason why they're taking those things is because they're being forced to. They don't want to. I've also had people, and not just one. A lot of people say, well, what if I just don't want to get better? Goddamn, I just want to do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I just don't want no shit. And I said, but you're sitting here and you're complaining to me nevertheless. I said, now what do you really want? You want fucking help, or do you want to just sit here and dump on me for your shit? I run a bowling alley. I don't have time for that. I'll put you on lane 3 over there right now. I'll give you $1.25 game. Just go knock down the fucking pins and have a nice goddamn day. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Because you're not on a league. I'm going to give it to you for $1.25 just to say, you know, you want to come in and blow off steams. And I'll tell you another thing. The guy that owns this bowling alley has a special on Sunday, $1.25 a game, till noon or 1 o'clock, whatever it is. I don't work on Sunday, so I don't know. I don't even like to go in there because I'm busy. I goddamn have a life, and that guy would have me in that bowling alley working for fucking hours that he wasn't paying me for because I was putting glow in the dark bowling alley. He told me he'd sell it to me. He couldn't keep his word because he didn't own it, because it was all fucking shady and it was all goddamn bullshit. And come to find out, the bowling alley was packing. They're making money off of me. Hey man, they didn't even fucking care whether they paid me the hourly or not. I mean, I don't even, to be honest with you, when I quit, I didn't even pick up my fucking last check. That's how, hey, well, he'll be down to pick up his goddamn, no he won't. I never picked up my check, and I never asked my sister to pick up my check either. But I hear that he was in the bowling alley and all of a sudden he's looking for something. And I'm sure it's right there. He just isn't seeing it because it's neatly put there. I don't even know my own goddamn bowling alley. Fucking throws that shit in the air. One night on Halloween, I put a little plastic spider in the till. And I knew my sister, my Aunt Debbie, was going to be in there. She wasn't my sister, she was my aunt, I'm positive. So she's in there fucking whipping out my fucking spider on Halloween night. Everybody in the bowling alley knew who did that. You know, there was just no way about it. You know. So, well, what else did I do one time? Well, there's lots of things. Well, I think Herb had a New Year's Eve party and I worked for him, and people are coming to me saying,
Herb's having a party on New Year's Eve, and here at the bowling alley. I said, well, that's nice. I mean, I wasn't. It was his party. I don't have to work fucking that night. I think I'm going to the Lucky Eagle Casino, so goddamn, I don't give a fuck what he does. It's his goddamn bowling alley. You know, I mean, it's his fucking gig. So they're telling me this, and pretty soon I'm saying this is nice, that's nice. You know, I got my other fucking shit going on. And he goes to me one day, he comes in, he says, hey man, he says, are you coming to my party? He says, I'm going to have a party here on New Year's Eve because, you know, the bowling alley's full, there's lots of people. And he says, you know, I said, well, now they call you fucking Slick. No, he said something. He said, you know, he says, gosh, he says, they call me Greasy. I said, well, now they call you Slick. You know, because his machines are running and stuff, you know, goddamn, you know. I'm fucking just fix the machine so I can goddamn flip them on and fucking run this bowling alley instead of going down there and babysitting those bitches all the time, working from the back room. And me and him did go over that one too. You know, I fixed his bowling machines. He says, what the hell did you do to my bowling machines? I haven't been back there 2 weeks. So I want to know what the fuck you're doing. I said, ancient Chinese secret, because that's what my dad said. Is this an ancient Chinese secret? Isn't that something? You know, one day he said to me, he said something negative about my dad, you know, right about the time that I fix those bowling machines, you know, because, hey man, he wants to fucking belittle me, you know, after I fixed his goddamn bowling machines and shit. He said something, my dad was his fierce competitor. You know what caused that, what happened? He got jacked up across the fucking bar. I put my hand like this and I just goddamn came up and I said, you ever talk about my dad again? I said, I'll fuck you up. And he got out of the fucking bowling alley. He never came back for weeks. I mean, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. I mean, he fucking did not want to fucking show up if I was at that fucking bowling alley. You know, because he pissed me off. You say something about my goddamn dad, and he wants me to run that fucking bowling alley because it's running. It's making him money. But, you know what? They couldn't fucking pay me, and they couldn't fucking sell me what they didn't know. And who owns that goddamn bowling alley? I heard Penn Royal Trust, Penn Trust, something like that. Is those bowling machines in an entity's name? Because I was told that those bowling machines, those ones that was in Alpine Bowl, Airplane Bowl, the stolen Cooper money, was my dad's. Herb says that those machines in that bowling alley in Chehalis is his. You know, I mean, that's pretty strange, because I'll tell you what, if I have a fucking washer machine and I put it in your fucking house and I'm renting it, and that becomes part of your house, that, where do we stand on this issue? I mean, I know where I would fall under this. I would say that it's hooked up to that house. Maybe he could take out 7 of them, but he better leave at least one goddamn lane. One lane. And one machine. I don't know for sure. I mean, it just sounds reasonable, because he can't fucking, once you put in, you know, I put in a brand new water heater in my mom's house now. You know, I can say, that's my goddamn, no, I hooked it up to the service line. I mean, it would be ridiculous to ask my mom for the heater back, but you know what? She did. My son put in a washer machine, and he was under 18, and he did that for her, and I thought that was so goddamn nice. But I just really thought that the court should know that he had bought that for her, and she was screwing us, because the day that she collected my rent from me, and I pay ahead, I don't pay from behind, I pay ahead, you know, like most people do. I do believe that's still that way. She wants to act like, oh, well, I was just paying last month's rent, so she screwed me out of it. Then you know what the audacity of that woman was? She wanted 50 more bucks. 50, you know, for the 50-cent president. 50 more bucks. And then, you know, she says, I knew you would say that. She says, you owe me 50 bucks. And I said, I don't owe you 50 bucks. I said, here, this is what I do. I sign my check, I hand it over to her, and I say, you know what, take whatever rent out of it, anything that I owe you, any utilities, and you just give me the rest of it, and that's it, Mom. I said, I'm busy doing shit. I said, and you watch my son, I give you a goddamn good deal. Let's just keep it that way, you know. one day she got this bill, and there's this bill's on the gas company, and it must be $1,200 or $1,400, something like that. But she tells me, the kids are telling her, man, that goddamn John's costing you fucking money. You gotta get rid of that bastard, you know, that kind of stuff. And she tells me, Jesus Christ, you just turn that fucking thermometer on, you just leave it there. And that cat, I said, you really think that? Me and my son was just walking up the fucking underwood. I want to hear that goddamn thing. You know what? Her bill came $1,400. You could just turn that down and run it like you used to. Pretty soon I come down there, you know, and she's all fucking weirded out about that gas bill. And she told me, you know, it was extremely high. And I walked up and I told my son about it. I told my son, I said, you know, what do you think? You know, and I run stuff by my son because I want him to goddamn learn. My dad would do that to me, you know, explain things to me. And you know what? We decided we was going to pay it. So I went down, I just hopped on the counter. And I said, so did you think about how you're going to take care of that bill? And she goes, well, I'm just going to work out. I said, here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pay that $1,400 bill. She goes, can you pay rent too? And I go, yes, I'll pay rent on top of it too. I said, just let's get along. And goddamn, they were just after me all over again. You know, that was like $1,900, and just think 19, 9 and 1's 10, perfect. Fuck, she was just fucking working in signs. That $50 was no more than another goddamn dirty trick. And anyway, we'll talk later, and hey, good evening.